Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Okay, so really funny is, so right now I'm going into my Facebook group and we're uploading all the previous videos because I guess all the links don't work after 2 weeks. So we're slowly but surely we're getting there. Anyway, one of them I uploaded this morning and I'm wearing this exact same shirt. So there we go. I must love this shirt on Fridays. Anyway, I was like, oh, look at me. I'm wearing the same thing. Anyway, funny story. Okay, so we're here because you want to talk systems, right? Okay, so here's the deal. Systems is very, very, very generalized. So I want to know, I need your help. I need you guys to tell me what exactly, what are we talking about? When I say systems, what do you want to know the most? Where should we go with this conversation? Anybody?
Lynea, one thing that always pops in my head, two things I've learned from you in the past week. You are very dedicated to respecting your schedule. So, because twice there are things you've said about, oh, I haven't checked that email yet. It's not time. And I was like, wait, what? So what systems did you implement as far as how you run your day, how you run your week? That would be really helpful.
Okay. Do you want to see my schedule? You guys want to see my Google Calendar? Danella laughs every time. She's like, Danella, if you guys don't know, Danella and I work together. She helps a lot of the buyers and she is like trying to put appointments on our calendar all the time. She's like, I don't know when I can do
I'll
this.
be staring at the calendar. And as I'm on the phone with someone trying to book an appointment, the spot that I'm looking at is like filled in.
So yeah, I am very, very, very particular about my time. And I've learned a lot of things. And the reason why is because it is so easy to get distracted. It's so easy. We have a billion things flying at us every day. And we tend to prioritize those, everything within a transaction, our clients, we tend to drop everything for clients, which is great, right? We want our clients to know that we're responding to them. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you the few times that I have not told my clients what my schedule is to respond to them, they text me at 7:00 in the morning and expect an answer like that. That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to respond to my clients until 9 a.m. every single time because you know what? You can wait. So let me show you what my schedule looks like. And don't freak out, you guys. It's very, very, very color coded. Okay. And I know there is speaking of adding videos into the Facebook group, we did a whole thing on this when I was in Mexico in November. But this is what my schedule looks like. So I check email every morning. It's not the very first thing I do. I have other things I'm doing in the morning. Typically, it's I have my accountability call at 7:45, and then I have my team huddle every day. And then on Fridays, this takes place. This is before email. So I check email in the morning, and then I check email usually right around 5:00. So what happens is that my 8:30 a.m. email time. That's when I'm going through and I'm responding to any emails that I didn't respond to the night before. I'm clearing out the junk because there's a crap ton of spam in there, which is about 90% of it. So it takes 2 seconds. And then there is the things that are really important. And sometimes things don't really require an answer at all. It's just informational. But I prioritize money-making activity, as you can see, in the time that I know I'm going to do it. There have been a lot of times when I will try to put money-making activities, which is prospecting and working in my CRM in the morning. And I'm going to be honest with you, I just don't do it in the morning because people don't answer, people don't respond. And the more calls I make and the more attempts I make to reach out with the least amount of response, the less I want to do it. So I have moved my money-making activities to the end of the day because I'll tell you what, between 5:15 and 6:15, people are answering their phone. And if they're not answering their phone, they're responding to me early the next morning. And then guess what? I can respond to them the next day. So I prioritize that. I prioritize marketing. So anything in this purple color here is marketing. So this week I had 2 hours of marketing, which is basically content creation, filming videos, writing scripts. Sometimes I'll do, editing. I might add a couple of things into a reel or write a caption or whatnot. But I don't consider content creation the same as content planning. Just so you know, content planning is different. Anything in this orange color here, this is what I consider business strategy. business strategy. And that's my favorite thing about what I do. So I like to do it. And so and it's also the thing that even though I love to do it, I will tend to put it off for like the whirlwind if I don't actually schedule it in at the right time. So content planning for me is usually on the first Monday of the last Monday of every month. I'm planning out content for the 2 months later. So last on the 27th of February is when I had my last content planning day. And that's the day that I planned out all my content for April. So that's how I do that. And then right now you can see I'm trying to get my broker's license because you need to have that in Washington State to officially grow a team. So that's a huge priority for me. So that's like right in the mornings right now. And then anything here in this like light green color, that's when I'm actually seeing clients in person. So you guys, I have a really, really thriving business. And look at how many times I'm actually seeing clients in person right now. 3. That's it. And my business is thriving because I have a really, really strict schedule. So does that answer your question, Katrina? Does that help? Yeah. So I start, obviously, I start my morning. I even plan in like my gym time. I plan in my morning mindset time. I plan in my sleep. I plan in my eating. I plan in everything. And I'm really, really, really dedicated to my schedule because I know me and I know that I will let myself go off on a tangent and I will go down a rabbit hole as deep as I can go if I don't have a really strict schedule.
Thanks for that. That helps a lot.
Yeah, good. All right. Who else? What do you want to know? Systems. I can go in the chat too. There's a lot of questions in the chat. Lead generation and conversion. Michelle is asking about lead gen and conversion. So you want to know like what lead gen systems I use and then how I convert them, Michelle?
Yes, please.
So lead generation is something that's like very near and dear to my heart. I love lead gen. I love it because without lead gen, I don't have business. So it really depends on what kind of lead I'm going after. Right now, I'm really going after a lot of the organic leads, right? I'm going after a lot more organic. I'm spending way less money right now, and I'm getting way more leads right now. So the organic thing is really, really important to me. And so when I talk about lead gen, like organic lead gen, the systems that I put in place are going to go back to my schedule that I just talked about with Katrina, or that Katrina just asked about. And the reason why I go back to that is because, lead gen, organic lead gen requires a lot of content planning. It requires a lot of thinking. It requires a lot of strategy. So it starts out with me going to the last Monday of every month, planning out what I'm going to do for the following month to actually get the right people in my pipeline. So what happens is if someone is coming in organically, let's say they're coming in from Instagram, which is right now I'm getting a ton from Instagram. If they're coming in from Instagram right now, they're going into my pipeline, my funnel. And we have right now, we're implementing what we call a 3x3x3 campaign. Has anyone ever heard of this campaign? Yeah, the 3x3x3 is pretty awesome. So basically in the first 3 days, they're getting touched 9 times. The first one is a text message. And I have an automated text message that goes out, but I'm going to tell you, I don't let it go out right away because it seems too robotic. Like if someone it gets zapped into my CRM, and then all of a sudden they get a text like right away. It's like, oh, okay, that's not a person. They have less likelihood to respond because they think you're a robot. So I basically set up my automatic text to go out about 4 minutes after they've come in. Because that's much more organic, right? That's a little bit more like a real person. And also, if an automated text goes out right away and then they convert into a client, then what are they going to automatically think in the future? They're going to think that I'm going to respond right then and there. They're going to think that I don't have anything else going on. They're going to think that that's the time that they should always expect an immediate response. And so I want them to know they're going to get a quick response, but not an immediate response.
Do you have Zapier or Zapier set up for that, Lynea?
I do. Zapier, I use Zapier in everything. We have Zapier going from every time you guys register for this call, you're zapped into my CRM. Like literally Zapier is set up for everything. We have Zapier that goes from Google Drive into my Slack channel, because in Slack channel, if someone views a Loom video, so when I share Loom videos with you guys, it zaps it directly into my Google Drive so I can see who viewed it. So we have Zapier for everything. And so then the second day of the 3x3x3 campaign, every day for the first 3 days is a 1 call, 1 text, 1 email. for the first 3 days, every single day. The first call, text, the first email and text are automated. The second day is not. The second day is very manual. It's a very manual thing. So like Danelle is usually the one who takes the leads, and she will have to go in and she'll have to like every day. She's got a system too of how she goes and she tracks her follow-up, but she's learned a lot from me on that one. She'll go through on every day at whatever time she's allocated for herself, and she'll go and do all of these manual second day follow-ups. And the third day is the same thing: call, text, email. So 9 touches in the first 3 days. Then we split it out. So then they go into, within the first 10 days, they're getting about 17 touches. So after the first 3 days, there's about 8 touches. In the next 10 days, we skip a day here. We skip a couple of days, getting a call or a text or an email. And then it goes out to once a month for basically the next year. That's how that works. Does that answer your question, Michelle?
Yeah, sorry, my dogs are playing loud in the background. But yes, thanks.
Okay. And then Jean is asking the same thing. It's effective follow-up system, website, etc. I'll tell you what, right now, the website that I love is Real Geeks. I freaking love it. Real Geeks is amazing. I also have KB Core. I like Real Geeks a lot better. Nothing bad about KB Core. I just found lead quality through KB Core or through Real Geeks is much higher. People actually respond real fast from Real Geeks. And I don't know what it is. I just think it's like the way it shows up on Google.
Okay. Are you also using them for your follow-up? Like you mentioned about everything being automated. Are you also using them for that?
But Real Geeks?
Yes.
Real Geeks is a website, and it integrates into my Follow-Up Boss. So yes, Real Geeks and Follow-Up Boss are directly integrated. So anytime someone comes in through the Real Geeks website, it sends an alert on an email, and we can see like exactly what they're looking at. We can see which properties they favorited. We can see everything. And so it's kind of nice because we don't actually need Zapier for Real Geeks to follow up Boss because they are a direct integration.
Do you do any direct marketing spend with Real Geeks, or do you do it through using other sources to drive people to Real Geeks?
I have not done any direct marketing through Real Geeks, but I feel like I should. That's something. It's on my agenda to add in slowly but surely. I'm also not really trying to add in too much at the same time. So right now we're perfecting the organic outreach right now because that's really, really, really working, and I don't have to spend money.
Yeah.
I like to keep money in my pocket. Look, whoa, weird. Do you, Mike? No? Okay. I was just curious. If anybody does just spend direct money with Real Geeks on leads, let me know, because I would love to know your conversion rates and like the quality and whatnot. I'd love to know more about that. So Isabel,
Lynea, I read that it's mostly for the Pacific Northwest.
What is
Rogi?
Is it mostly for the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I use it in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about it for quite a while, and I've seen multiple people try to get me to switch to Real Geeks, and even when I joined Agent Launch, they were really strict on wanting me to use Real Geeks, and I pushed back for so long. I was like, no, do it with KB Core, and I finally switched to Real Geeks, and I've got to tell you, it's like game changer. I pay for a website now. I pay $350 a month for a website, but I spend a lot less money on Google pay-per-click. Like about half the cost on Google pay-per-click, and I get higher quality leads and higher conversion. So I don't know, the math works out. It's weird. Carol, why are you doing that face, Carol? I know.
Lynea, do you still use any of KB Core's, like any of their tools in addition to Real Geeks?
Yeah, I do. I use like KB Core's Property Boost. There's some things through KB Core I still use because I want to have my clients to have maximum exposure. So sometimes we'll have Property Boost ads that run people back to their KB Core site. And then sometimes we'll just run like street text to run them back through to Real Geeks. So we have their sites, their property exposed on both sites. Okay, Isabel is asking, what do I prepare for my listing presentation? A lot. a freaking lot. I don't believe in listing presentations. I have listing conversations. By the time I've actually gone to somebody's house, they've already received all the information from me. I don't actually present anything to them other than asking about their house, confirming their goals, because we've already reached their goals before we've even gotten to the appointment. So one thing that I do right before a listing presentation, the day before, is I always do basically a confirmation call. They all know I'm going to call them once we set the appointment. I say, okay, so your appointment is on Tuesday. I'll see you at Tuesday at 4. Just expect that on Monday at 4 p.m. I'm going to give you a quick call. I just want to run through a few things so you know what to expect from our appointment. And that 99% of the time, people are like, absolutely. 1% of the time, like, oh, I'm not going to be available at 4. Can you call me at 2? Right. But every single person, before we even go to their house, they get a phone call from me. And the phone call, I go through a series of questions. There's 10 questions on there, going from, it's like a pre-qualification, right? Going from, I want to confirm that, your address is ABCD. You're moving because of XYZ, right? When do you want to be moved by? I want to find out all the stuff that you would normally do in a listing presentation. I'm finding that out before. I don't want to waste my time at a listing presentation trying to talk through their goals. Why am I even there if they're not motivated? I don't want to waste my time. So I go through and I ask a series of questions. Some of those questions include how much you currently owe on your mortgage, how much do you want to net from the sale of your home? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell? What is your motivation? If you like what you hear tomorrow, are you willing to sign a contract with me? Ask that question before. It's a hard question to ask. It's really scary for me too. I do it now. I've been doing it for a while, but I ask that question before. You know why? Because I don't want to go there and waste my time. And if they're going to tell me, oh, I'm going to interview 20 other agents at the same time as you, it is what it is. Go ahead and interview 20 other agents, but I want you to know that my expectation when I come to meet you is that I'm a professional. Okay. Here's everything you want to know about me. I'm going to give it to you all up front. And then I am going to ask you to sign a contract, because then it makes it less weird when you're at the listing appointment and you're like, hey, now can you sign this contract? That's weird. It's weird. Well, you just got to tell them you're there not to give them a value. You're there not to let's see how we can sell your house. You're there because you want to get a contract signed, which is why I have 15 listing agreements signed right now. So how I prepare my listing presentation. But everything basically in the listing presentation does come prior to me actually getting to the appointment. When I show up to the appointment, I basically got reprints of everything they've already received in the mail. So they already have everything and I just have it. So I basically have my iPad with me. And then I asked them, hey, can you grab can you grab that thing that I sent you, grab that packet I sent you? Let's go through it together. And so then I don't have to waste the paper. They're already excited because they've already looked at it. In the packet, I have their title report. I've pulled preliminary title. I have their entire preliminary title report. I've called my title rep if there's any weirdness about it. And I've asked all the questions I can. So I've educated myself on their property. So that is kind of like the gist. I mean, what I do for my listing presentations is very, very, very involved, and we're probably not going to get through that in a half an hour call. But maybe one day I'll do a how to prepare like a listing presentation call. Okay, Brittany's asking, what is your CMA follow-up system? How do you make your CMAs differ from the average agent? So my CMA follow-up system is I don't do CMAs unless I know that I'm going to be going to a listing appointment. If someone wants home value from me, I will happily put them in HomeBot. I will happily do a quick comparable sale walkthrough. I will happily, or a video walkthrough, and then I will send them the video and then I will call them. I know the CMA follow-up system is awesome and works for a lot of people. For me, to be quite honest, it's a lot of work. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get my time to be more efficient. So how I do it that's different is I do HomeBot, and I'll actually send them a video message directly through HomeBot. And then they get from me a card, a note card I use AM cards integrated with Follow Up Boss. And it's hey, I hope you got your home value. Let me know if there's any questions. Then we call and then we text. Now, that being said, if you are using HomeBot, 1 week a month or 1 day a week is my HomeBot day. So on Mondays, when I'm doing my follow-up, the 2 hours of follow-up, that's HomeBot. So I'm going through and I'm looking at all the people that have been active that week. And then I'm looking at all the people that are new to HomeBot. And then what I'm doing, I'm either reaching out via call, text, email, really depending on how I followed up with them. I'm reaching out and I'm asking them, hey, I see you were active in HomeBot this week. What's going on? Is there something specifically I can help? And a lot of times that conversation is like, yeah, I actually saw that my neighbor's house just sold for $2 million, but I can't believe it's $2 million in this neighborhood. And you're like, oh my gosh, let me look into it. And you do a quick comp review on, I just use the MLS. I don't do anything fancy. I use the MLS and I do a video walkthrough of all the comps and just send it to them through HomeBot. Does that answer your question, Brittany? Awesome. Okay. Adrian.
Good morning, Lynea. As usual, excellent presentation today. I wanted to know if you got a lead that, you got an address only, do you just throw them in HomeBot?
Address onlys are a little different just because, I'm going to tell you, first of all, through Real Geeks, I've never gotten an address only. So ever since I started running address only through or seller leads through Real Geeks, I've never gotten an address only. Every single one of them has had a good phone number. I've talked to every single one of them. A couple of them are flaky, like this one guy, Dale, that we're really trying to track down, but he still responds. He's a little flaky. So there's that. So what we were doing for address onlys is we were doing a handwritten note. We were doing we would do a quick, rather than doing a video walkthrough of the comps, I would just print comps and I'd run them into Core Present and send out a Core Present package to them. That got to be a lot of work. So honestly, for an address only, right now, what I do that seems to be working just fine is we'll skip trace for at least a name, an email, and a phone number if we can. And then we'll import them into our CRM, and then we'll basically put them into retargeting. So we'll keep them on remarketing only. We won't send emails because I don't want to get spammed, but we will export them from my CRM, import them into Facebook, and then do a retargeting audience.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Who are you using for skip tracing?
That's them.com. We're not doing anything fancy, just the free version. I like free. I like saving money. That's my theme for the year. No more money. Lenora.
Yeah, a couple of questions. Rogie, how do you spell it?
Real Geeks. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, Real Geeks. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I know it's interesting. Yeah. So Real Geeks. Yes. There you go.
Oh, it's Real Geeks. It's not Rogie. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is I am in my second year of real estate and I use so many tools. But my budget is limited. So what tools would you recommend for lead gen?
Okay, so if your budget is limited, make sure the number one tool you need to have is a CRM. Number one. Do you have a CRM?
Yes, absolutely.
And do you use it regularly?
Yeah, KV Core. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So there you go. Tool number one. Second is if you already have KV Core, you can run a crap ton of marketing through KV Core. There's something like 50 or something different types of marketing that you can run through KV Core. What brokerage are you with?
Oh, I am with EXP. I'm a solo agent.
So you can, through EXP, you can sign up for Make It Rain. You have to take a little training course to learn how to do Make It Rain leads, but you could do Make It Rain. I've heard great things about that. My personal preference for lead gen, if you want to do a system, a solution, is Street Text, for Facebook. I love that. I've heard a lot about listings to leads. Does anybody use listings to leads? Thumbs up, no. Thumbs down, good or bad?
I used to, but then someone just told me that they got way better.
Yeah, I've heard
than they used to be.
Yeah, listings to leads is really popped up a lot lately. So that's kind of been, Cheryl, you're raising your hand. We can't hear you. Oh no.
Hi there, it's Jackie. I've heard from people about listings to leads. That's really good.
Okay. Yeah. So listings to leads is another one. I'm actually going to try it. I have a ton of listings coming up in the next 2 weeks. I think I've got 4 that are going live. And so we'll be running listings to leads. And so I'll let you know about that. But yeah, I've heard great things. Right now, I love Street Text for Facebook. It's pretty easy. It's set it and forget it. And there you go.
Thank you.
Oh, Jackie Dirth is saying she did not like listings to leads. Why did you not like listings to leads?
I used it a while ago, probably a year or more ago. I just felt like it was very generic ads. And I felt like it just didn't give you any leads. I thought it was a waste of money.
Interesting. Okay. They got two different.
I mean, they could have changed by now. I mean, they could have updated and made it fantastic, but when I was using it, that's my opinion of it.
Okay. There we go. Two different perspectives. I love it. Someone who uses listings to leads, can you explain what it is?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. We got you, Cheryl.
So I have used listings to leads. I use it a lot for our open houses and blast out there. It's to do advertising and get leads. We do it too you can do it for listings, but we can download right into the program. We can download the listing. So I don't have to spend a lot of time uploading photos and stuff like that. So we can use in our brokerage other listings and broadcast our open houses, but we get quite a bit of leads through it that way.
Okay.
They are working hard on trying to do seller leads now too. I just have to get into that portion and see how it works.
Nice. There we go.
They're upgrading.
Okay. So Suma is asking, do I have a funnel in Real Geeks? No, everything just goes directly into Follow Up Boss. I don't use any funnels in anywhere else. It's too hard. I was trying to, but you guys I can't. I got to do one thing. So everything goes into Follow Up Boss. So the only funnels I ever run are really through Follow Up Boss.
Thanks.
Kate is asking, do you or have you ever used Mayshore method? The answer is yes, I have. I use Mayshore method for like a couple of my like click funnels right now too, because it's a great platform for that. But I don't really have an opinion either way. I just love Follow Up Boss. So Mayshore method's pretty comprehensive as far as I know. And then no, I'm not using the CRM in Real Geeks. Kate's in class, she can't talk. Say hi to the kids. Okay, so let's see. So what if they say no, I'm not ready to sign a listing agreement? Then don't go on the appointment. Don't go on the appointment. Continue to give them value, continue to nurture. But really, why are you going to a listing appointment if they're not ready to sign a listing agreement? So I just basically set the expectation up front. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it's foolproof. I'm not going to say 100% of people sign, but I'll tell you what, my conversion ratio of people going up and signing or expecting to know what they're going to sign prior to me actually going there is high. And also I send them a copy of the contract before I get there. So I don't have to go through and explain the contract to them. Also, you guys, I use a commission menu, just so you know. I don't have a set commission. It's a commission menu. So they basically get everything up front. They get to see everything. And, the commission menu, they always choose the highest option, especially in this market. They don't want to have no marketing on their house. I can sell your house for you. I can put on the MLS and not charge you anything. Cool. It's not going to help you. What's really going to help you is all the marketing that's going to go into it. So that is all there. Okay.
Lynea, what do you include in your commission menu? If I understand you correctly, depending on the percentage that you put on that menu is what they get?
Yep. So it really depends. A couple things. It's varied based on where the buyer comes from, right? So if the buyer comes from, I give them, access to their property website. And their face and the link on Facebook. And if they have someone in their own network that comes and they're unrepresented, I'm not going to charge them a full commission. The buyer came from them, but I'm still charging a commission, right? So it depends on that. It depends on what they want included. It depends on most people who are who are moving out of state are going to take the highest option, because the reason why is what they're going to get from me is I'm going to hire the junk removal. I'm going to hire the deep cleaner. I'm going to hire all of these people. I'm taking care of their entire thing. All they have to do is pack their shit and move. That's all they got to do. And most of the time people will pay you a lot for that, because the stress of moving out of state is high. Really high. And the stress of having to sell your house at the same time when you don't know how you're going to do it all is even higher. So that's where I go. So it depends on where the buyer comes from, and it really depends on what they want in there. So usually on my listings, it's between 6 and 7%. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Lynea, do you pay for the cleaning, or do you just find those companies and they pay for them?
So that's part of the commission menu, right? So if they want me to pay for it, right, I will pay for it, but it comes out of it. They pay higher in the end, right? Or they can pay for it up front, and then they pay a little bit lower commission. So it really just depends, because that's why you have that pre-listing conversation, the pre-listing phone call prior to the appointment, so you can really understand what their needs and goals are. Because I go into every single appointment understanding which option I'm going to push for them. I'm not always trying to go for that 7%. Not always. I mean, sometimes I'm going for 5.5%. Like, because I just understand what their needs are. So you have to kind of think like, if someone wants me to basically do all the work, I will do it. Absolutely. It's going to cost you more money, of course. But my client avatar is willing to pay for convenience, because I pay for convenience. Convenience is like, when it comes to like cost of anything, convenience is way at the top. Way at the top. Save me time, save me stress. Cool. I'll pay you a lot more for it. So it really just depends. And that's part of the commission menu.
Lynea,
yes.
Do you write it into your contract? Anything, if you're paying for a lot of stuff up front, do you write it into your contract that if they cancel or change their mind, they owe you X amount of money?
Yep. It's all written in there. I learned the hard way. Thank you, Wendy, for pushing me through that moment, because I had a deal where I put a ton of money out and I had a easy exit listing agreement. You can cancel at any time with no cost. And I'm like, yeah, no, I got screwed out of like, a couple grand on that one. So I'm not going to happen again. So yeah, there is definitely a clause in there, and that gets sent to them prior. So they're getting all of this prior to me actually going to the listing appointment, and they get to see what the clauses look like. If you want to utilize my concierge services, there's an authorization in that to say escrow can deduct money from escrow or from net proceeds. So that's all in there. So all of it is like, it's all upfront, all very disclosed. The other thing I also have in my contract in the beginning is a price reduction clause. So if they it depends on what the market's doing. I think I just changed it because homes are turning a little bit faster right now. But if they don't have an offer on their house and we've had X amount of showings within X amount of days, we have to drop their price by usually 5% is what I put it at. And that's discussed up front, because guess what? When you get into a deal with someone and you are then trying to work your way into getting a price reduction, it makes it a lot harder. But if you talk about it up front, you're like, hey, just so you know, we already talked about this. You already signed, and then you automatically do it. It's done. Kevin.
Yeah. On your back to your schedule, do you just do all the color coding yourself on Gmail? And okay.
Yeah. Do you know how to change your colors on your Google Calendar?
No, whatever color it comes up to, everything's blue. I didn't know if you had like a program or something, or how do you do the color coding?
So a couple things is this little berry color here. This is my actual brand color. So I changed my entire calendar to be that color. So anything that just pops up is just random stuff on my calendar. And you do that by going into the calendar and then go settings and sharing. Sorry, go back. I lied. You go into the calendar, hit the 3 dots, and then you click on this button here and you add in your hex code. So that's my hex code for my berry color and my brand.
Okay.
So there's that. And then when you go into an appointment, what you do, let's say I want to change this one here. We want Katie to not be berry anymore. We want Katie to be a different color. You can just go in and assign these a color. And then what you'll do on this plus sign here is it'll pull up all of the colors, and you can add a label. You can add a name for it. So random. So all of your colors, so all of your appointments will now have a name for it.
Okay.
So I put anything with money in green. Right. Anything with my like out of office, usually vacations or whatnot, like that's red, like don't bug me. Anything in gray is personal time, or sometimes personal appointments. I kind of intermix sometimes, like my lash appointment. You guys all know I love my lashes. So I mix my lash appointment with my out of office time. And then I do marketing in that lavenderish color. And so this is kind of how I do it. So it's pretty easy. You just got to go in and just sign whatever color means the most to you.
Yeah. Can you add a new color for a tab or for a label?
So for the labels, you can only have the colors that they have there. The only thing you can change is the color of the actual calendar.
Okay. And when you try to do it from your phone, I think that's where Kevin is seeing all blue. Because when you try to book one on your phone, they're all the same color, but you have to go into your computer and change it, right, Lynea?
No, if you have the Gmail app on your phone or the Google Calendar app on your phone, you can change it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're using, if you have like for iPhone, for example, if you're using the Apple Calendar, you cannot. Everything on my Apple Calendar is the same color.
Oh, okay.
But if I do it from the Google Calendar app, you can.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, that's what's happening then because I have an iPhone as well. So
me too. I use Apple.
Yeah, download the Google Calendar app.
All right.
Awesome. Doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Lynea?
Yes.
Hey, if you are pre-signing a price reduction clause at 5%, so then are you canceling the listing and do you already have it re-signed with them?
Am I canceling when I'm
because in our MLS, if you reduce the price 5% or more, you can cancel the listing and relist it so that it comes up new on everybody's hot sheet. Are you doing that, or are you just doing the price reduction?
Just the price reduction. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. We can do that on our MLS as well, I guess. I've never done that, but I think Danella learned that in a class she went to because she goes to
I'm in your MLS.
Yeah. There you go. Danella learned that. She went to a forms class that I didn't go to and came back and told me that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I learned something new. Okay. Kate is asking one more time. I use Follow Up Boss for my CRM. Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss. That's my CRM and I love it. Freaking love it. Love, love, love it. It's like my favorite thing in the world. My favorite tool that I use is Follow Up Boss. Okay, we are out of time. Look at that. It's 8:36 already. Thank you all so much. If you have any other questions about systems or anything, feel free to toss them in the group. And then if you missed the first part of the call, we're working on uploading all of the old content into there because the links don't work anymore. So it's just going to be a while. It takes a long time. I uploaded a video today and it's taken like an hour. So it'll be a while, but we're working on it. So have patience. And then Jen, am I running Google pay-per-click targeting sellers? No, they're really, really, really expensive. So everything is targeting buyers on Google pay-per-click. But I'll tell you what, like most of my buyers are also sellers. So that's how that works. And then street text, I'm not actually running street text ads, but when I do, I usually only run seller ads on street text. So sellers on street text and buyers on Google. All right, you guys, everyone have a great weekend. Bye.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.